to our ACC predictions. I'll start it. We're going to go Atlantic first. And I'll start at the bottom here. I got Syracuse going 3-9, and I think they'll be 1-7 in conference. I don't see anything that is very impressive with Syracuse. They don't have the best culture in the world, so people that's going to be able to come there, they're not going to be able to pull off any crazy upsets. So not too impressed with Syracuse. That's why they're at the bottom. Moving on, I got Boston College at 5-7, 2-6. Some people think they'll have a better year than that. I'm not so sure about Boston College. They have a higher ceiling than 5-7, but you could argue they have a lower floor than 5-7 too. So interesting. I'm kind of set there in the middle at 5-7, 2-6 in conference. Moving up, this will shock some people. I got Wake Forest this low at 8-4 and 4-4. Now 8-4, when I told you they were that low, you'll probably think that 8-4 would be lower or higher in the conference, but I just think that they're going to lose a lot more conference games. Their schedule is really hard in conference. They'll be having a lot of conference opponents on the road next to some of the easier ones that they would already normally beat at home. So I think 8-4 there for Wake Forest. They have a harder schedule than what people think, and they lost a lot of weapons on the outside perimeter. Still got a good quarterback, though. That's why I think they'll get to 8-4. Florida State, I have next at 7-5, 4-4, a much improved year for Florida State. This is the third year under Mike Norvell. I was really high on him out of Memphis. I think he'll pick it up this year and continue to have his job here. Moving on, NC State, 9-3, 5-3. A lot of people would have them 2 or maybe even 1 in the Atlantic. I have them 3 at 9-3, which will come to a loss with an upset loss against Louisville, who I have at number 2, 8-4, 6-2. I think Louisville will have a very surprise year this year. They have a very favorable schedule, and this team, they have a lot more talent than what people are giving them. I think this is Malik Cunningham's 4th year there, and I think he'll have a big year this year. And hot take, he could be an early second round, late first round quarterback taken in this year's draft. So remember that. And then I had number 1, my boys, Clemson, 12-0, 8-0. They'll go undefeated. They will go on the road and beat Notre Dame in the big game there. I think Notre Dame will get outcoached in that game. That's why I have Clemson winning it. Moving on to the Coastal. Well, wait, no. I'll let you do your Atlantic first. Go ahead.
Okay. My Atlantic in last place is Syracuse. I have them going 2-10. Then 6, I have Boston College going 6-6. 5, Florida State also going 6-6.
Okay.
Another building year for them. I think they're on the way back, but just not quite yet.
Yep.
Then the Final Four, actually, I have them all having pretty good records, and they're all tied in conference records. You're going to see a weird thing here in a second. So I have 4 at NC State at 10-2.
Okay.
6-2. Then 3 is Louisville at 9-3 and 6-2. So I have them head-to-head beating NC State at home.
Me too. Agree.
Okay, and Wake Forest I have going 10-2, with also a 6-2 in conference. Then with Clemson obviously at the top, 11-1 with 8-0 in conference. I think Notre Dame might get the best of them at Notre Dame.
I could definitely see that.
But I would not be shocked if they went 12-0.
Yeah. Okay, so we both got Clemson coming out of the Atlantic going to the ACC Championship. Let's move on to the Coastal, which will be a little bit more exciting at the top, I think. At the bottom, we have probably, if not the worst, they're real close to it, and that's Duke in the Power 5 at 2-10, 0-8. I don't know what Duke's going to do with their program. It's absolutely awful. They just don't care about football, I guess. Moving on, Virginia, I got them at 6-6, which is crazy to be that low at 6-6, but I got them at 2-6. I have them below a 3-9 Georgia Tech team. That's funny how that works out. How you play so many out-of-conference games in college football that you could be 6-6 and still be below a 3-9 team in Georgia Tech. But I think the 3 wins will be 2 of them will be conference wins. Same with Virginia, they'll get 2 conference wins. But I think Georgia Tech pulls off the upset against Virginia, and we'll put them ahead there. And then Virginia Tech 5-7, 3-5. Virginia Tech's kind of a confusing team. Yeah, I mean, I think you could make a good argument that Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech are definitely less talented than Virginia, but I think the way Virginia's schedule works out and will hurt them a lot more than Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech. Moving on, I got Pittsburgh at 10-2. I think they'll have a great year, but finish 3rd in the conference because their 2 losses will come to the next 2 teams above them. In North Carolina at 9-3, 6-2 in conference, and then Miami at 10-2 and 7-1. Now, if Pittsburgh loses the Tennessee game and then they win against North Carolina and Miami, they'll obviously be second. So it's interesting there. I just went ahead and put them 3 though because I like North Carolina too. I'm high on that team. I think they'll be better than a lot of people give them credit for. And then Miami at 10-2, 7-1. They will come out of the Coastal. I think they'll be the best team there, and I think you could officially say Miami's back. So Go ahead, hit your Coastal.
7 is Duke. I might be being generous giving them 2 wins because they are really bad. I like to see Duke and Vanderbilt play at neutral ground, see who'd win.
Duke plays Kansas, so that's a good.
Kansas might beat them.
Yeah. Oh, I got Kansas beating them, but yeah.
Yeah, I do too. Well, I have Duke at 2-10 and 0-8 in conference, and then number 6 is Georgia Tech. A little lower on them. You had 3-9. I have 2-10, and then 1-7 in conference. And then 5, I have Virginia at 7-5 and 3-5. And then 4, I have Virginia Tech also at 7-5 and 3-5. And I think this is because I had Virginia Tech beating them in their rivalry game, upset. I guess it would be an upset because Virginia's, I think, supposed to be better than Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
So. Then 3, I'm not as high on them as you are, but I have UNC at 7-5 with a 4-4 conference record. I expect kind of last year was a weird year. They were hyped up. They were kind of disappointments last year.
100%.
I think they'll put in another okay year just to get back to where they were supposed to be.
Yeah, I think. Hold on, let me interrupt real fast. I think North Carolina was preseason 8 last year in the preseason.
Yeah, they were
poll.
supposed to be really good.
Sad. I think they finished like 6-6. I think that's what it was, or something like that. Go ahead.
Dang, I have them. Okay. 2, I have Pitt at 9-3 with a 6-2 record. I have the loss to Tennessee on there.
Yep.
That's what we're differing on right there. And then in first place, I have Miami at 10-2 with a 7-1 conference record.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they will be very good this year, but they're only going to get better because recruits in the next cycle and stuff. So.
Yeah, so that leads into our ACC Championship game, which is Clemson 12-0 for me, 11-1 for Jake, versus Miami, who we both have 10-2. What a great championship game that is. Miami will be probably ranked somewhere in the top 15, and then Clemson will probably be ranked in the top 4 in the country at that time. It's a great ACC Championship game. I could definitely see it in the Classic, but I'm going to go Clemson wins. They're better this year, but I do think Miami's time to be the ACC champions is soon on the horizon. But I will go Clemson this year, finishing the season 13-0, and they will be my... They will be in one of my 4 teams in the playoffs. I don't have the rating yet, so I have Alabama, Georgia, Clemson. 3 teams, not in that order, though. I don't know the order yet. But those are 3 out of my 4 playoff predictions, which leaves 1 spot, and we still have 3 more Power 5 conferences to go through. So, go ahead. What about your ACC championship?
Yeah, I have Clemson, Miami. I think Clemson's definitely going to get it this year, but I'll agree that say Cade Klubnik doesn't end up working out long term, whoever Clemson's going to have, maybe DJ.
Yeah.
Miami will have probably a really good quarterback next year. Mm-hmm. That recruit, Rashada, I think is his name. Yeah, I think Miami's on the brink of being really good again for like a long time if Cristobal ends up recruiting well and coaching well on the field. But I don't know.
For sure. All right, so